Sunday Clubbers, how are you doing today? Sunday afternoon, and the weather is much better than it has been for the rest of the weekend. It was a bit yucky yesterday with the rain. But how has your week been? Has anything special happened? Have any of you, like me, had a birthday? It was my birthday on Friday, and although I was at home, not really managing to get out, it was still nice to not actually be working. You were probably at school, having to do work at school. But if you've had a birthday either this last week or at some point during January, then hooray! That is awesome to have had a birthday at the beginning of the year. Shame it's in lockdown, but there we go. That's what happens. So today in Sunday Club, our story is called Jesus the Leader. And we're going to be thinking about him and the 12 special friends that he chose to help him do his work while he was on earth. That work of spreading the news about God, about his kingdom, about how people had to change and be forgiven for all the bad things that they had done. Now we're going to hear the story a little bit later, but I was thinking, who are some other leaders that we have in the world? And one type of leader is kings and queens, royalty. They lead countries, lead people. So I thought we'd play a game this morning which is called Copy the King. And normally with this game we would have lots of different people and each person would have a chance to be the king, and they would do something and everybody else would have to copy them and do as they do. But I thought for this morning, there's only me here, there's no one else, I'm all alone. But you guys can maybe play this with your families later on today, or maybe at some point during the week. Have fun taking turns, seeing what you can come up with. So I'm going to do lots of different things. You have to copy those things, and some of them are going to be the jobs that some of Jesus' friends and followers had before they left it all to follow him. But you're not going to be able to see much with this particular lens on, so we're going to switch lenses and then you'll be able to see me a lot more and everything that we're doing. So hold on just a second. So the first thing that we are going to start off by doing is running, and then I'm just going to kind of call out what we're going to be doing as we change to the next thing. So are you ready? We're going to be running. Let's go. So, go for a run. Keep going. You can do it. If you want to go faster, you can go faster. If you need to do a little bit of a jog, you can do a bit of a jog. Here we go, a little bit of running on the spot. Okay. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to go fishing. So, big fish. Okay, now we're going to go skiing. You ready for the downhill? Here we go. And jump. Oh, excellent form. Excellent form. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And land. Let's do a bit more cross country. Pretty cold out. Not quite snowing out, but it's pretty cold. Okay, now we're going to have a sword fight. On go out. Or if you're like me, you could pretend it's a lightsaber duel. Okay, lightsabers in. We're now going to pretend to be elephants. Okay, now we're going to go hopping. So hop on one leg. You can do this. See if you can hop without holding your leg up. And we're going to switch. Now. Oh. Oh. Okay, right, keep hopping. Keep hopping. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do to get ourselves warmed up this afternoon is some slow-mo. You can do slow-mo whatever you want. Right, well done everybody. I hope you're nice and warmed up, because I am nice and warmed up now as well. And now that we are warmed up, let's cool ourselves down a bit by having our story. And today our story is with Jacqui. So over to you, Jacqui.
Hello Sunday Club. Unfortunately, Charlie the bird was unable to read the story this afternoon, so he's asked me to do it instead. The story is taken from Matthew chapter 10 verses 1 to 4. And here we find out about Jesus and his special friends. Jesus the leader. Jesus was doing lots of amazing things, but there was so much more work to do. So Jesus decided he needed some special friends to help him. He chose 12 friends to help with his important work. He chose 12 very different people. There were fishermen like Andrew and Simon Peter. There were clever people like Philip and Bartholomew. There was Thomas and Matthew who collected money. There were brothers like James and John. There was another James and another Simon, and 2 more friends called Judas and Thaddeus. The 12 special friends helped Jesus with his work, and they told everyone they met about God. Jesus was very happy to have his 12 friends, and they were very happy to be friends with Jesus.
Do you know what's really wonderful about this story? It's the fact that because Jesus was fully God as well as being fully human, he didn't actually need to have anyone else to help him do his work, but he still chose to ask people to help him anyway. And I'm sure there are times in our lives when we know that there's something that we could do perfectly fine by ourselves, but actually it can be really good to ask people to help us. Maybe not for our benefit, or at least maybe not at first. It could be to help them. Like if there's something that you know how to do really, really well, and there's someone that wants to learn, you could ask someone to help you do something so that they can learn how to do it as well. So I wonder, what was the last thing that you asked someone to help you do? In my work here for the church, we work as part of a team. It's not just me, and it's not even just me and Emily. There's lots of us that work for the church. And a lot of the time we have to do lots of things that involve lots of us working together. It's the same for Sunday Club. It's not just me or Emily every single week. We have lots of other leaders as well. And it's really good to be able to get people to help you to do something. Because sometimes you find that actually when other people help you, that you learn things from them, even if you didn't think you would at first. So in the future, when you've got something that you need to do and you know you can do it really well, why not just ask somebody else to help and see if that makes things both easier but also more fun and an opportunity to learn even more. Well, I'm going to say a quick prayer now, and then we're going to go over to Alyson, who's going to show us what our craft is for this afternoon. So let's pray. God, we thank you for Jesus, and we thank you that even though he could have done your work by himself, he chose to get other people involved. And we pray that when we have things that we need to do or we're asked to do, that even if we can do them by ourselves, that you would help us to ask others to be involved as well. That it would build us up as much as it builds them up. Amen. So it's over to Alyson for us to get crafty.
Good morning, Sunday Club. Lovely to be with you again. I hope you are keeping well and that you have been getting outside for some muddy walks and pottering around at home. Today you've been learning about Jesus and his 12 disciples, his 12 friends, all of them different, who he called to follow him. So our craft today is going to be making a picture of those 12 friends. So I've got one to show you that I've made already. And all we need is one piece of paper. And out of that one piece of paper, we are going to show Jesus and his 12 disciples. So that's what we're aiming for, a lovely row of people. And what you're going to need is just one piece of paper and a pencil and some scissors, some colouring pencils or felt tips, and a little piece of sellotape. So in order to make our 12 friends, I'm going to ask you to fold your piece of paper in half, and then you're going to cut along that line that makes the middle fold. Now, just to save time, I think I've folded it tightly enough that it will just rip, hopefully, down the middle. And then the first thing I need to do with each of these is to concertina it into 7. So that's a little bit, I'm going to show you roughly the size that I'm looking for is this size. Don't know if you can see clearly, but just a little end, and then I'm going to go the back on myself like I was making a fan. So maybe you've done this before and you're very good at it, or maybe somebody nearby can give you a hand, an older brother or sister, or a mum or dad or granny if they are in with you at the moment. So I have got, I hope, 7 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's my first one, and I'm going to do the same again with my second one. Now you might be thinking, the mathematicians amongst you, 7 plus 7 is 14. Do I want you to make 14 people when we cut them out? And the answer is yes, because I thought we would have Jesus at the front of our merry band of followers, leading the way. And on my long row of people, you might see I've actually given him his name, Jesus, on his front. And I started to name the others as well. And right at the end, the last one, who would be number 14, is actually me. So I thought we could put Jesus at the front, his 12 disciples in the middle, ending up with us as well. Because Jesus called his followers to follow him, and he calls us to follow him. And he asked his followers to do his work in the world, and he asks us to do his work in the world too, to love people and point people to God. So I'm hoping we've got 2 halves of A4 paper that are now concertinaed together. Just concertinaed. And our next task is to draw a person on here that we can cut out to make our little people. Just a little bit of advice. You must make sure the arms are the bits that are touching the sides. And I'm going to suggest that because we're going to be drawing the hair on the people, I suggest that the head is quite large. So I'm not sure if you can see that well. I've got a large head, 2 arms that come out to the edge that we're not going to cut out, and then a long robe. Most of the time they wore long robes in those days. So when you've drawn your person and you're happy, you cut along the line, but just down the arms, but you don't cut where the hands would be, and then up round the head. Remember, it's quite a large head so that we can add on some hair. And we'll try and make them all look a little bit different when we do our drawings on them, because each of them was different, as you and I are all different too. So when I have done that, I can open that out, and I have got 7 people ready to make into the disciples, plus Jesus, plus me. I'll do the same with this one, and where there are 2 hands at the end, I'm going to use a little piece of sellotape to join them together. Okay, so I've put a little piece of sellotape in the middle, and I've got 14 people to show the 12 disciples and Jesus and you at the end. So I think the first thing to do is to put the eyes and nose on. I'm going to do actually most of them with brown eyes. I think we'll give a couple with blue eyes. You've got the chance to be a bit creative here. So I'm going to do a few and then let you get on with it, because you'll be very good at doing different faces on all these people. So I'm just getting a few done, and I need to give them their hair. So I'm going to give some people straight hair, and I'm going to give some people curly hair, and I'm going to give some people a bit of hair with a beard at the bottom of their face, and I thought I would give somebody a moustache, so he's got a little bit under his nose as well. And this one has only got a little bit of hair here and here. He's bald. This one, he's got some more straight hair. So you can use your colours to give them different coloured hair, different styles of hair, and one or two of them might want a hat. So I've got this one wearing a sort of turban effect going on, and this one here is going to be wearing like a little headdress as well. And then I'm going to give them some smiles, right? Because they're actually all quite happy following Jesus. So if you go all the way along your people, giving them all smiles, and then you want to give them something to wear. So I've given Jesus a robe there, and this one is going to be Peter. So he's going to have over his shoulder, Simon Peter was a fisherman. So he's got a satchel here, sort of like a bag, and in his satchel he's got some fish. So I'm just going to draw some blue things coming out, because he was a fisherman. Four of them were fishermen. He's got some fish coming out of his bag there. This one here, he was Simon. So he was quite zealous, which means enthusiastic. And in his belt, because he was thinking that maybe Jesus was going to lead a rebellion, he's actually got a little dagger. Jesus only came to bring peace, but Simon is yet to really understand that one. So all these lovely characters you've got, giving them some different costumes that they were wearing and different characteristics for their faces and their maybe what they're carrying. And then make sure at the end you do you. So I'm here, I have got blue eyes and, well, sort of grey, yellow, brown hair there, and I'm going to give myself a smile. And you might want to put all the names on. If you go back to the story that we listened to, all the names of the disciples were there. If you want to give yourself trousers because you're not wearing a robe, I'm wearing my jeans, so I'm just going to cut like that and give myself some trousers in blue. There we are. They're blue trousers that I'm wearing, and I've got a scarf on, so I'll just make that look like a scarf. There, and that is me following all the 12 disciples who are following Jesus. So you'll end up, hopefully, with all of them into different characters that will remind you of today's Bible story. Lovely to be with you. Take care, Sunday Club. Bye.
I hope you guys have fun trying to make your own string of 12 disciples, Jesus' friends. And that was a fantastic example of somebody asking someone else to help them, because Alyson needed someone to help film that, because there's no way she would have been able to make everything and then film it and move the camera around all by herself. So what a fantastic example of people working together in a team to do something. I hope you guys have a great rest of Sunday, but also you enjoy the rest of your week as well. And we look forward to seeing you back here next Sunday. But also don't forget to check out our Facebook page, because there's lots of fun things to be getting on with on our Facebook page as well, including our walking checklist. So if you're going out and about for a walk this week, there's things that you can tick off that you see, and that checklist changes every week. So why not enjoy that as you go outside? See you soon.